thanks for tuning in to the power raking video. Now, you can call this power raking, some people call it roto raking, and then of course the reality is it's thatching, and you could call that dethatching, but whatever it is, we're pulling dead grass out of the lawn. This can be done any time of year. Personally, as a landscaper, I find it easier to do it in the spring, just because there's less grass, there's just less healthy green grass for the power rake to get into. The grass is still a little dormant in the spring, and I find you can really pull that thatch out, which is really just the brown, dead grass. The thatch doesn't make great compost as it breaks down in your lawn. And remember that thatch is completely different to grass clipping. Grass clippings that you mulch and chop up fine will break down perfectly well and are great for the soil. Whereas thatch, the longer, dead, coarse blades of grass never really break down, and it doesn't make for good soil, doesn't make for good compost. And we want to get that out. I like to thatch right after you have aerated. The plugs from the aerator are on the lawn, and this breaks it all up, and the plugs plus the thatching make for a great top dressing and just a great way to start the spring. But let's look at the machine. Now, there's lots of ways to rake your lawn. The power rake is just one way. There's a little tool you put on your rotary lawnmower. It looks like this, and it works great, if not better. It's a little slower. You got to be a little more careful. This can really scalp your lawn. Not that you'll see it midsummer, but while you're doing it, you got to be careful. And of course, rake, manual rake. This works just as good. It is a lot of work though. So the rotor rake, the power rake, the thatcher, the power thatcher is going to be your easiest and quickest option. You've all seen one of these work. They're pulling out the dead grass. Keep it up, keep it up. And we got all this thatch. Looks like a mouse nest. But this is what we're trying to get rid of. But this is a lot of work. All these power rakes are going to work pretty similar. You want to ensure your fuel's on. You want full throttle for this, full bunny rabbit. Of course, turn it on. If it's cold, you're going to need choke. And if it's a Briggs & Stratton engine, you're going to have to pull it a lot of times. Let's see how she goes. Now we're going handheld here, and we're going to look under the machine. You want to be a little careful the way you tip your machine over so that you don't get oil spilling out like this of the carbonator. So we're going to tip it up and just have a quick look under this machine. And it's super heavy, and hopefully you can see teeth. Now these just fly around in a rotary motion, kind of like, a rotary rake, I guess, and it just hammers the living life out of the grass. And what's what you're seeing, what's going on there. So anything in its path is going to get pulled out. You want to set your teeth just so, now I doubt if we're going to see anything here. But you want to set your teeth just so it's making contact with the soil. Which is really I guess the thatch layer. Hopefully you're seeing it. So I'm going to set this, I got mine set on 2, every machine's going to be different. I'm going to set it a little bit lower, just so I'm making good contact. Now if it's really making a lot of racket and digging into the lawn and the dirt too much, you can always raise it up. But you want to make it as low as possible till it's looking good and making good contact and pulling out lots of grass without completely scalping the lawn, of course. And each machine is going to be different. Each lawn is going to be different. Now once you pull this handle, those blades, those tines are going to start going around, and this thing will dig itself to the center of the earth. So when you pull that, you have to be ready to go. You have to walk with it. Now we can see what we're left with, and you're still going to have to rake up this thatch. And I set mine pretty low, and you can see what it did. It definitely was making contact with the ground. It could be too low for some people, but this is how I like mine. You can set yours up however you're going to set it up, but we pulled, and it was just in that little strip a massive amount of thatch. Now what we're left with is something that might look a little thin to you. If you remember, grass grows from below the surface, and grass is one of the only plants you can burn, and it comes back. And years ago, they used to burn the grass, to burn the lawns, and it would come back super, super green. And you remember maybe even seeing this in a field where there's a bit of a grass fire, and a couple weeks after it comes back super green. This is the same idea. We're getting rid of the top dead, and this lawn will come back super, super green. Alright, thanks for watching my power raking video. You may be watching this after my aerating video, or you may be watching it first. If not, go back, watch my aerating video, see how I did that. If you watched them both, thanks a lot. And good luck with your lawn. It's still a lot of work, but for me, this is the best value for the lawn. For the work involved, you get the best results, and you see these results immediately. I do this every year. You're not killing the grass, you're not pulling it out. I really think there's a huge benefit to this. Again, you can do it anytime you want. Best time for me where I live is in the spring, but do what works best for you. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, if I missed anything, put it in the comments. Thanks a lot.